Hey everybody, welcome to our first episode of The Real Loop-De-Loo. We are in our new home here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And of all things, this is our second snowstorm of the year. I think that we brought the snow with us, and I don't know why, and I don't know how we brought it from Arizona. But yeah, this is the second snowstorm that we've had here in Charlotte, and it is absolutely gorgeous. My lovely assistant is going to now pan over to the outside, and you can see out the window that it is snowing like crazy out there, and it is coming down. They're saying we're expecting roughly 9 inches of snow for today, which is crazy. They don't average more than 4 inches of snow a year at most, and that was on high average. So yeah, this is crazy weather for them to have what's going on right now. But it is absolutely gorgeous outside. We're inside. It's nice and warm. I know I'm dressed like the ultimate final barista level before you get to meet the King Starbuck in Mortal Kombat. So but it's a nice little outfit. It's a nice little apron that I picked up a couple of years ago when we were in Salem, Massachusetts. I can't remember the name or the story behind the saying on here, but it's something about a ship, battle, England, we beat them, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. But anyway, we're going to have a good time cooking here today. We're making pasta simply because we don't have our outside kitchen done yet. So when we moved into the house, we had issues, and it became priority instead of building an outside kitchen where we would have our pizza oven and everything else like that. And um, we had to sink our money into redoing our kitchen in here first. But it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, mid-century modern kind of a feel to it, and we're happy with it. We love it. The green tile, the multicolor back here, the white and the dark brown underneath here is gorgeous. We absolutely love it. So we're looking for people to be on our show, and we're looking for local people. We're looking for people that are fun, charismatic. You don't need to be famous. We'll make you famous, hopefully. you know, we're not Joe Rogan yet, but we're getting there. We're slowly getting there, very slowly getting there. But everybody starts somewhere, right? We're looking for people that want to come in, make a little pasta, whatever sauce you decide to cook it with. Bring your own bottle of whatever we're going to drink with the dinner, and just sit and talk and get to know each other. The one thing we ask is let's not talk politics. We get enough of that stuff every day. We don't need any more of that. So unless you're a politician, then bring it on. We'll talk. But anyway, on to our first episode here. We are going to have a special guest, and they don't even know who it's going to be because it's going to be my wife, Jen. Yeah, come on. Here, hold on a second. Come on in. I love the hat. Okay, the hat is a great addition here. So I'm just saying, it is super cute. Super cute. Great, great look. She didn't expect to be on here. She didn't realize, like, I'm pulling out the extra microphone. I have another wonderful apron back here. She's like, "Do we need to move the apron?" I'm like, "No, no, it's fine back there." But she's like, "Oh shit, I got hoodwinked into
I
this."
should know better after almost 7 years around you that if something looks suspicious, there's a reason why it's suspicious.
You know what? If life was predictable, it would be very, 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 very boring. So there you go. All right. So she didn't realize this. This is even better because you get to see what we go on back here, and then how we're gonna do things. So basically, we're gonna make some pasta. We're gonna the dough's already made, so we don't have to worry about that so much. But we gotta knead it and then get it to that right consistency, and then we're gonna cook it. We've already got sauce going on back there. It's some sausage, and peppers, and onions, the red sauce, some fennel seed in there, some red crushed red pepper, and you name it. It's going to be a little spicy. It's going to be a little bit flavorful with that fennel and everything in there. Delicious sauce, perfect for this time of season, especially with the heat from the peppers and everything. Just kind of clear you up, make you smells a little bit better, and all other good stuff. So we're gonna make the pasta here. Well, the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna wash our hands because we do practice sanitation and cooking safely in the kitchen. So you ready to do this?
I guess so.
It's just like I got no choice. What else are we gonna do? We're snowed in. We got nowhere to go. There's nothing else to do. We're gonna drink. Oh yeah,
I was gonna say, where's my guest alcohol here?
we got a special bottle of wine here. And I couldn't think of a better name for a wine when dealing with me. It's Freak Show. So, a Zinfandel. Very nice. But a Freak Show Zinfandel going to go perfectly with me. So, it's going to be the great wine that we're going to open up and drink and eat and just get to know each other.
I was just looking at us and like now I can see the view on the camera that we did not intentionally. I got dressed first, so let me just say we weren't trying to match. And I don't know if we've reached old married couple status where we're like matching each other now because this is like, that's pretty.
It's close.
Good. I mean, it's pretty
close.
Pretty. I mean, you usually do orange or something. So like we're both in a aubergine.
Ooh, fancy word for eggplant, which ironically that little thing takes on a whole other different connotation than when you're texting people. But anyway, like baby aubergine.
All right.
Anyway, so we're gonna wash our hands. We're gonna come back. We're gonna roll some dough, and we're gonna cook, and then we're just gonna sit down, eat, and talk, and get to know each other. Even though she's known me for almost 7 years now. Almost 7 years. Regret it. She's like, today I freaking do. But this is the best part. Let me show you real quick here. Just tell you real quick about the show. The show basically, we don't know. She knows because she'll do the whole interview process prior to people showing up to the house. Because we don't let people just kind of randomly walk into my house. But I don't know who's going to show up to the cooking show. All I know is the ingredients that they have. And this is the way we did it with the pizza. All I knew was the ingredients that were on the pizza, and get ready for an interview with somebody who's either a meat lover or whatever the case might be. But this one here is the same kind of premise until we get the pizza oven outside. But the pasta cast, it's going to be basically tell me what sauce you want to have with your pasta. We make the pasta, we sit down, we talk and everything, but I don't know who's going to show up. And that's the best part. This time today, I knew who was going to show up, and they didn't know that they were going to show up. So that's even better. But we're going to wash our hands, and we're going to be right back making some pasta. And we're back, and the wife just pointed out that it is 12:30, so we can technically drink. We're going to pop open this sucker, take off the top over here. Done with that, and we're just gonna open this bad boy up.
I wanted to point out this is like the Lou trick. You know how many times you sit there and you try to take the knife and you get the little fancy cuttery things and everything else. We've been at people's houses and he does the whole squeeze and pull off. So, wine skills.
Which I really don't have. I learned by watching people that were more skillful and knowledgeable about wine. I know what pairs well with food. I can taste the wine, tell you exactly what it would pair well with, and the reasons why you need to hire me to come and cook at your house to make those foods taste well with that wine. But that's a whole other different story. That's a commercial waiting to be done. But we're going to pour this, kind of let it breathe a little bit. A little bit. It is the joys of cooking, being able to drink and eat and everything else like that. I always said that alcohol was the PED of the culinary field, because like I always seem to cook and create better when I had a little on board. But that's just me, and 95% of the rest of the people in the culinary field. But anyway, hey, cheers to a snow day and any day that you can get to cook and drink and enjoy life. So cheers. Here we
There you
go. Not bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I'm not gonna do the whole slurp and everything else like that. It's like that wouldn't go well on camera, and it just sounds awful too. So, but yeah, this is delicious. That's not bad.
I think I kind of find this funny at the moment is I tell enough people that you're always on this other side by the stove and I'm always over here. So this is like my natural state, or what do they call it? Like the animals in the zoo, my natural habitat. So this is my natural habitat. I'm usually on this side of the island, glass of wine, watching. I've threatened to do my chef's wife shtick of like my view is always with a glass of wine toward the kitchen. So now I have to actually do something.
It's not a bad place to be. You just kind of sit and chill and let me do my thing, which is fine. It's like I think marriage is basically each one of us has their own strengths and kind of let each other kind of do their own thing. It's like yeah, I cook.
I guess I just always said, hey, one of us married a chef and it wasn't him. So this is what he gets. So, but this is what I get. So it's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice.
It's a good trade-off, I think. You got to come home and dinner's ready. I am pretty good as far as a domestic, partner, as far as that's concerned. Dinner's ready when you come home. There's something poured. I always ask, is like, well, not always, but most of the time I ask, or you'll tell me like, I want a glass of wine when I get home. So I'm like, all right, red or white, and we got choices. It's my job to make sure that when she walks in, it's ready, it's good to go, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, it's a fair trade-off that we take care of each other and do the things that keep us happy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. That's what we're gonna go with. Anyway, so we got the pasta already made here. Just made it. Normally I make it with 100% semolina, but I ran out, which is fine. So it's like a 3-to-1 ratio of all-purpose flour to semolina. So 3 parts, unfortunately, 3 parts all-purpose to 1 part semolina, but it still works. Okay, it works fine. Semolina just makes a better quality pasta. But we're gonna break this up and cut it in the chunks. And I won't ask normal people that come over here to do this for me, but she lives here, so she knows where it's at. The middle drawer right there, I think, is the little cutter.
Oh.
Bench scraper. Maybe in the right side.
There it is.
Ah,
there it is.
Even I don't know. So,
Ta-da.
Yay, bench scraper. So I'm new. It's all new to us here. So we're just going to cut this in half. We're not going to use a ton of this because it a little bit goes a long way, and we'll use this up before it starts oxidizing in the refrigerator. So don't worry, it will not go to waste. It'll go to this waste, but it won't go to waste. So I'm gonna move your wine out of the way here. So
all right.
Yeah. And a freak show, if you want to sponsor us, we'll be more than happy to take that kind of a kickback. We don't ask for much, maybe a couple of bottles of wine a month.
I'll let you get near the action, or am I supposed to be near this? Because
well, we'll work together on that.
Right.
We want a little bit of flour because we're gonna need the flour into this because it will need, no pun intended, it will need it. So just gonna punch it down real quick. And just fold it into thirds. Work that flour into there, and then we're going to use the machine to basically knead it. So and we'll do this a couple of times. So I'll do the first one, then you can do the others. So
all right.
But we're going to get it nice and level here that it's going to fit into the machine, because chances are we'll be standing here and it's going to kind of as it works through. But and it's manual machinery, so not the good old-fashioned machine the entire time. So we'll do it by hand here. And we folded it this way, fold it this way. We're going to run it through this way. So kind of in a 90-degree angle from the fold. Nice and smooth. Keep going at a nice, even pace as you do that. And as you can see, it's nice. It's still a little soft, so we're going to throw a little bit more flour into there. And then this is where you're going to come in, kiddo.
All right.
So, like I said, fold it again, thirds, and then punch it on down.
Just
fingertips. Oh yeah.
Divot the puppy.
There you go.
All right. This is kind of when you're playing with the pizza dough and you're punching down the thing. So it's kind of, I guess, dough's dough, like, essentially, or no?
Kind of. I mean, when you're punching down the pizza dough, that you're kind of punching out all that air that builds up from the yeast. This is obviously not a dough that's going to rise or anything else like that. So we're just we're kneading it more or less. So, but we don't want. Last thing you want to do is have over kneaded, overworked pasta. Becomes tough. People know the word gluten. It's one of those taboo words nowadays, but gluten is more or less just the protein inside of the flour. And say what you want. I guess American flour blows balls, but you can buy the European flour. It's better. They don't have a company that makes Roundup that makes our flour and our food and everything else like that too. So you start looking into Monsanto and Bayer and everything else like that, and you just start going down a rabbit hole of holy crap, that these are the people that are making our food. So good times.
So I'm sitting here, and I guess we could do like a bad pun counter. Like, you don't like a over kneaded dough, and you don't want an over needy friend. So how far do I keep going? Am I making it thin, or I'm just kind of happy spot?
No, you're pretty good. You're pretty good. So you're probably gonna be able to squeeze that right in here and roll it on through.
Do I get a third and third, or just
nope,
pick it up?
No, you're good. You're gonna pick it up, and then after you do that, and you see it's gonna run that way. So you folded it this way, and then you're gonna run it 90 degrees in the yes. So yes.
Okay.
So yes.
Slide it in.
Slide it in, and then do you want me to crank or?
I'll see if I can multitask. That
sounded awful. Anyway.
Yeah,
you're good.
Does it just?
Yeah,
oh,
just keep going. Yeah,
okay.
Just keep going. Keep going. Nice even pace. Nice even pace. Nice even pace. There you go. And Viola, it's done. Look at that. And then pick it on out of there. Pull it on out. You can see it's nice and straight. Still a little soft. So we're gonna do one more round of the flour. So go ahead and flour that bad boy up. Yep. Go for it.
More? Or we're looking?
No, you're good. Fold it in the thirds.
Okay, like midway?
Yep. There you go.
All right, so full disclosure, he talks a lot, and then I pay attention, and then I don't really pay attention. Now we're caught because I pseudo paid attention.
Yeah, well,
Now I flour again?
You can put a little bit of on there, just a little bit, and then you're gonna punch it down.
Oh, the same thing. Fingerland.
Yep.
Okay.
a lot of bad dirty puns in these in cooking and stuff like that. So it's like, you always say, well, I wonder what the chefs are thinking about we either think about food or other things. So and everything is just dirty. And I will say this: some of the worst filthy-minded individuals that I've ever worked with in the kitchen, women. So, but they're funny. It's funny. Sense of humor and a lack of human resources department in kitchens is what's truly needed. So,
are we happy spot, or now we just?
I think we're good. A little bit more. A little bit more. We're gonna flatten it down a little bit more.
Oh, okay. So not trying to get into like a dirty pun type of thing, but is it supposed to grow a certain percentage once it's out, or you're just trying to look at a thickness, or
you're just looking for thickness, so it runs through the machine a little bit easier.
Oh, okay. All right. So kind of just visually.
Yeah, so you're more or less just kind of working in the flour that you just added into there a little bit.
Okay.
And 'tis the season for sore throats and everything else like that. So I apologize in advance because it sounds a little rough.
Right, so we hitting.
Do my Sam Elliott impersonation.
Hey, are we hitting the happy spot here? Or?
Yeah, I think you're good.
Okay.
I think you're good. So then go ahead, lift it up. Make sure.
Kind of Kind of.
Throw a little bit of. Let's use that. Let's get that in there. A little bit of flour. There's enough flour on the surface here to kind of flour our dough a little bit more.
Okay.
There we go. You should be good. Put it down just a touch more.
Still?
Yep, just a little bit more. Happy fingers.
There you go. Yeah. Okay.
All right, so you should be good.
Okay, now I just
run it through the
lift
machine.
it
Yep.
up. Hold it in.
There you go.
Don't stop.
Yep, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Once you start, we'll work it out. It's not going to be perfect, folks. We're not looking for perfection here.
It's definitely artisanal, rustic Italian.
You know what?
Thing
That's
going
fine.
on.
Like I always say, if it's artistic and rustic and artisanal, then you just charge $3 more for it. So it's perfectly fine. There's your markup.
Okay.
We have pasta. We have artisanal pasta.
All right.
All right, so you're pretty good. We're going to throw a little bit more flour on there on both sides. So kind of, we always say it's like rolling dice at the casino. It's like Mama needs a new pair of shoes, and it's kind of right onto there like that. Not quite like that.
Yeah.
Like that. You take it a little bit like that, and you bang, right? And then you're good to go.
Well, I guess then we're saying I haven't done the Mama needs a new pair of shoes dice game as much.
Mama buys her own pairs of shoes, so we're good. And then you're just basically, we're still on 0 setting here, so we're just kind of working it through.
So, like, how many settings are on this gizmo?
Depending on how thin of pasta you're looking to do, this thing goes all the way up to, what is it? 7, 8, 9, up to 9. We're gonna go to about 6. Okay,
so like if
sorry.
So it's like a fettuccine and stuff. Like it eventually is like a level 4 or something like that. How do I think about it?
Probably more like a 6 on that one too.
Okay.
So you'll see it's gonna thin out quite a bit.
You could kind of see the person that kind of has the math mind and needs like the rules and regulations, and the person that's like, we got it. And so this is where we pair each other out on this one.
So the dough is going to continue to stretch. If it starts getting a little sticky, that's what the flour is here for. So you just kind of flour it in between, make sure it's not going to stick inside the machine. If it does stick inside the machine, just continue to roll through it. There's nothing you can do. Just kind of roll through it. So as it goes longer, it's going to be a little bit difficult to work with. If you're not skilled, you can always cut it in half and work with it in 2 different batches. It's perfectly fine. I'm going to let you roll the next one. Throw a little bit of flour on there, please. Both sides. We'll do both sides. There we go. And once again.
Okay.
All right. So now I'm going to let you do this one.
I'm just lifting it up.
Yep. Lift it on up.
I know. I
Put
can't.
one end into there. There you go.
Okay.
There you go. And then make sure the other end doesn't get into there, and then start slowly cranking it. Yep. There you go. Like a champ. Like a champ. You're good.
There you go. Okay.
So that's that. And then just kind of gather it up. Like I said, always check, make sure it's not too moist, and that's fine. So we'll move it up to 4.
So it's essentially around at this point, we crank and we keep going up around in a crank till we hit the level 9 is what you're trying to do?
Well, we're not going to go to 9, but we're going to go to 6.
Oh, okay.
So we're just going to get that into there.
So then you have that little wad of dough we started with. Like how long? I mean, this is already getting freaky long now.
Yeah.
How long will this end up getting? Like if a person was trying to clear off their counter, like it just feels like we keep
like
getting
I said,
more counter.
we're going to cut this in half simply because, you and I are working closely together here. So typically, you got your one area for making pasta in the kitchen, in the restaurant kitchen, and they'll have a nice big area. You can stretch it, and after you get done stretching, then you can make your ravioli or whatever you're making with the pasta, and then you don't go in that area. You just stay out of that area.
Okay, stay away from the pasta.
We're going to 5, and I'll let you do the other half.
Okay.
And then you'll just see how thin this actually starts getting more and more as we go along. So that's nice and thin. You could stop there. It's going to be a nice heartier, noodle right there. If you were cutting this for, shoot, I'm going to try to remember the name of the pappardelle. You can cut for a pappardelle pasta. So you want it to be thicker, bigger, thicker noodle. This would be about the thickness that I would be looking for right there. So it's thin, but obviously it's still got a good amount of thickness to it. We're just going to throw a little bit of flour on there in between. Let that sit, and then you can roll this piece on 5.
Okay. I keep trying to tell myself I'm going to do it without making my little screamy sounds, but it's like it's like panic sound.
That's what makes it fun.
And I don't even realize I'm making the little panic sounds, and then I start making the panic sounds. So there it goes.
There you go.
Oh, it's so cute.
And then just take that.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
All right.
Take it on out. Stretch it on out. And then do the exact same thing I did. And then we're going to bump that up to 6.
All right. Am I going to flour it?
Yeah, a little bit of flour.
Okay. A little flour, and then am I doing the foldy thing,
yep.
or just flip it over?
No, just flip it upside down.
Yeah,
we're done folding it. When you're folding it, is more or less like just kneading the pasta.
Okay.
So we're past kneading it and everything else like that. So we are stretching it, and we are good to go on that. So we're going to move it up. It is on setting number 6 now. And just kind of tap it along, keep it nice and straight as much as possible. That wasn't that good, but anyway.
Yeah. Look how long it is now.
That's where he said, or that's what she said jokes are coming in. So, all right, so we'll let that set aside. We're going to cut that after Jen here stretches the last piece.
Okay.
Good. You got a talent for this, kid.
No,
right. Next time you're good. Keep going. Next time we cater, I'm gonna have you roll some pasta for us. It's it must be the Italian, you know what I mean? What's the family name? Ungaro?
Yeah.
Oh,
Ungaro.
Ungawa.
No.
All right, so we stretched it. We're good to go. We're gonna basically, doesn't matter what we do right there, but now we got our lovely little handy dandy cutter right here, and you can do thin or the linguine shaped right here. Let's see. We're gonna do this. Bump this a little bit. Let me slide this out of the way.
There we go.
Let me move this bad boy. You don't have to, but I kind of want to have it on that you can see what's going on here on camera a little bit better. So we're just going to slide this. Scheiße.
All right. Magically disappearing. Hey, there you go. I'll wash it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
That's right.
What was it, Backyardigans, or was that Wonder Pets?
Wonder
What's
Pets.
Gonna Work? Teamwork.
Yes,
there you go.
That's Wonder Pets.
So we got our little hand crank here. We're gonna stick that into our linguine setting right here. So we're gonna go a little fatter. And then we're going to, let's cut this into bits. You can leave it that long if you want, but we're not filming Lady and the Tramp here, so it's all good. Which, that's why the lady is a tramp, right?
Ah.
And you want to get a sheet tray?
Yeah.
Either one, I guess, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Easy access.
Easy access, there we go. So when we set this whole thing up, she didn't know, and I didn't quite 100% plan for this, but you want to have a sheet tray going, and after you get done,
cookie sheet for those of us that grew up, different term.
Sheet tray, cookie sheet, whatever you want to call it, it's fine. A little bit of flour on there. You can use semolina on there as well. Basically, what we're going to do is after we cut this, get right on in there. And just kind of catch it as it comes out. And boom, there we go. Got a nice little linguine. Take that, kind of throw it into there. You can let it dry. You know, if you had a little setup or, you know, basically more or less a broom handle, more or less, just kind of drape it over. Obviously, don't use a broom handle because, you know, dirty. And then just let it dry. You know, it's perfectly fine. But, you know, this is fresh pasta. Flour, semolina kind of keeps it from sticking too much. And you're gonna
Okay.
And then just let me know your comfort level, obviously. Yeah, so
Am I just same old?
Yep, right into
Right
there.
in there.
Yep, I'll catch it on the other side. You don't have to worry about that so much.
I feel like now I had it trained with one arm. Now I feel like I'm okay. Here I go. Ah.
You're good. Keep going. There you go.
There you go.
You got a little wound up a little bit, but not much.
Okay.
So you can't reach the flour. So
all right. And then you just
kind of just flour it as I drop it down.
Okay. Good.
Maybe a little bit more. Have it wound up on me.
Let it snoop.
Yeah.
All right.
My
So
tits now.
all right. Uno mas.
Oh, this isn't a family. This isn't a family show, you know, for kids and everything else like that. Sorry. So, you know, just to let you know, we do say things that are going to be a little bit on the, you know, vulgar side, or at least I do. And I don't care.
Did I hit any of it? Maybe
some of it, maybe a little bit more. But you can kind of fluff it up at the end, you know, just kind of make sure it doesn't stick too much onto there. But that's pretty much it. So if you're doing this in a restaurant setting, you made a batch of dough, you're going to roll it out, you're going to do your portions, and you're going to say, we have X amount of linguine. Let's say we got 20 orders of linguine and clams for tonight's dinner. And then the waitstaff will go out and sell 24. So, and that's true. And everybody in the restaurant industry can relate to that because they're like, oh, hell yeah. Every time it's like, we got 5 left. We got 5 left. And then, you know, we sold 7. 86 to... Anyway, so, yeah. That's what now you know why. It's like all the gray hair and everything else like that. I'm only 33 years old, man. So, you know.
So can this, like, if I was making this ahead of time and I want to be fancy pants at a party, can I just set it aside, or I put it in the fridge and then later I pull it out like da-da pasta, or I got to do the broom handle thing?
Leave it room temperature. The best way to do it. Like I always said, just kind of fluff it up, you know. But yeah, you can just kind of let it dry out room temperature. It's perfectly fine. You don't need to do the broom handle. You can do the broom handle and then just kind of, if you wanted to do that, if you did a bigger batch and then did like a couple days, you know, obviously we're not going to eat all that pasta. So if we wanted to dry it out and then kind of save it for a rainy day, snowy day, you know, just kind of let it dry and let it do its thing. So, yeah, we're going to take a brief break here and then we'll be right back with cooking some more. All right, so we're back on the business end of the cooking experience over here. We got our red sauce ready to go over here. Sausage, peppers, onions, a lot of good stuff in there. Just kind of slowly simmering for, it's been on there for about an hour or so now. Perfect, you know, nice, thick, but not too thick. Ready to go. We got our water here, just about ready to boil. And the key to making a good pasta, salt. Okay, do not be afraid to use salt. When I say do not be afraid, literally, let me spin this a little bit. Salt. Salty like the seawater salt, kind of a flavor to it. So let that come up to a boil. What's going to do the salt kind of right into the pasta, which is what we want to do. So it's basically, once it comes out of water, it's seasoned, it's ready to roll. And then you're going to toss it with your sauce. You're going to, you know, and then serve it immediately, top a little bit of Parmesan. Perfect. When you're cooking anything in water like this, green vegetables especially, you want to add enough salt in there to kind of get into it, season it, So once it comes out of the water, it's ready to roll. It's delicious. It's perfect. Uh, like I say, it kind of permeates into the vegetable itself. Plus, um, brings out the chlorophyll. So you ever see uh, green vegetables that aren't so green? You know, that has that like faded kind of like army navy drab. You know, army navy. Our army olive drab. That's what I was going with. Olive drab kind of color to it. You know, just kind of meh. You know it was green at one point in its life, and now I'm being served this and calling it delicious. But anyway, that green is going to be brought out. The chlorophyll is brought out by the salt that's in that water, so it really just kind of pulls it out. And obviously, the longer you cook it, the less green it's going to be. But if you want that nice al dente kind of green pop to it, salted water really going to bring it on out. And then obviously, like I said, flavor it, so you don't need to add extra salt to it, and it's ready to roll. So our water is boiling, and it's salty, which is exactly what we want. The pasta, since it's a fresh pasta, it's going to cook pretty quickly. She's still drinking her. This is great. So,
we've refilled since you went there.
no. She refilled.
Nope.
I'm standing here. I'm sober. So she's like, I'm subtly sober. So so yeah, she's actively drinking. It's the weekend. She's allowed to. This is perfectly fine. We've got nowhere to go. So anyway, focus on the pasta here. Since it's a fresh pasta, it's going to cook very quickly. So you're looking at less than a minute, or so like that. So be quick, just be ready to roll. We have our nice little colander here. We have a bowl. We're going to toss this in a little bit of extra virgin olive oil when it comes out of the water. And then I'll show you a little trick of what you can do, because this is what we do in the restaurant industry. We don't cook everything to order. If you think, somebody's back there, Giuseppe's back there making, pasta to order and everything else like that. No, that doesn't work that way, unless you work at the French Laundry and they got 40 people blanching asparagus. But, anyway, did you know the French Laundry was the only place in the world that wasn't affected by COVID? Anyway, fuck that guy. Anyway, so we're gonna take our pasta, just kind of shake it on out, and we'll do it in batches here. So we're just gonna take the first batch, drop it on into there.
Now, if you had let it dry, would it be still a minute because it's still fresh pasta?
Good point. No, it would actually take a little bit longer. So, but you just kind of stir it up just a little bit. Let it go. One of the things that we love making, we love eating, is gnocchi. We love making gnocchi. We always have potatoes on hand for making the potato gnocchi or whatever. It's the same thing. You basically you can make that and then freeze it. It works great. And then you freeze them, and then when you're ready, you just plop it into boiling salted water, and then once they start to float, let it float for about 30 more seconds, and then pull it out, toss it either into dry it off as much as possible if you're going to saute it, so it kind of gets that nice little brown color to it, a nice little caramelization on the outside. Drop it into a pan with a little bit of olive oil. Just be careful. You don't want it to, splash back up on you. So like I said, dry it off as much as possible.
I think the thing about when you make gnocchi is you make pasta or you have pasta at home. People go, oh, that's nice, you're having pasta. You do gnocchi, and it sounds like you're extra fancy pants, and it's not that much more complicated, as we'll probably see if you get a person to come over and make gnocchi with you. And then it's cool. And then we get to be lazy and have it in the freezer, and I call it freezer finds, because it's like it's in the freezer, you pull it out, and you got fresh gnocchi, waiting for whatever time. So
it's quick and easy, and it's a great way to still be able to cook at home, but you be able to pick it up in a quick amount of time. So our pasta is done. We're going to toss it into there. Now, if you were doing this in a restaurant setting, this is what you would normally do. Toss it with a little bit of olive oil, and then I always found, take this, spread it out back onto the sheet tray, pop it in your refrigerator. It cools it without shocking. You see people shock it in ice water and everything else. That all that does is pull out the salt that's in your water. Now your pasta's again wet. Your pasta's lost the salt that was in there, and you wind up with a less than, what was that shitty? Wind up with a less than quality product. So we don't want to do that. So, like I said, if you're doing this in batches, you want to do this ahead of time, this is the way to do it. So if you want to say, you're doing a dinner party, spread it out, chill it, and then when you're ready, just pick it back up. You have your sauce ready to go and heat it up. You put it in there in batches, toss it into the sauce, and then ready to serve.
Well, yeah, because I think definitely like you do a dinner party, and I mean it's fun. Like some people enjoy, cooking around people, but if you want to sit there and really participate with your guests, I mean, as much as you could get prepared ahead of time, and then you're not worried about missing a step, or you wanted to have a glass of wine, or you want to pour your guest a glass of wine, or find out what's going on with Aunt Marge or whatever's going on. It kind of it kind of takes away, a little bit of the stress going on. Because I think that's always why people don't host and go out to eat. And there's nothing wrong going out to eat, but enjoy hosting. We all got some nice places that we live in. Show it off.
Speaking of March, I used to work with a Russian gal in back at the Westin Kierland back in Scottsdale, and she used to call me Mr. Simpson. I was like, oh great, so I'm fat, middle aged, balding, guy with what's that called?
Gut.
No, yeah, gut. But no, I was thinking of the word. Jaundice, because
like he's yellow.
and I'm like, oh great, that's what I look like. That's what I look like too. It's like, oh great, I look like that. So, like Mr. Simpson, it's like, oh great, it's a great name. So it's good to go. Look at that, quick, easy. Get every little noodle out of there. I'm all sucker. I can't catch them. It's like trying to catch that goldfish at the state fair. So there you go, shake it on out.
All right. So I guess the other thing, and this is the person versus the chef thing, is I just had the good old fashioned colander that you'd have sitting in your sink. You carry your big pot of boiling water. Now it's scalding. Then you're pouring it. You got the heat. You got the steam. You're trying not to do it. You're testing your upper body strength. Having these little handy dandy handheld guys, it's kind of like you could just do what you have there, and you're not worried about carrying a big boiling pot back and forth, which is kind of always is freaky.
Exactly. We're going to reuse this pasta water over and over again in a restaurant. I mean, it'd be silly to dump it out and then refill and more salt and everything. Waste of money, waste of time. So yeah, just kind of keep it there. It's ready to roll. So one of these things, fantastic, works great. Don't need to spend a ton of money on this thing. This is OXO. Basically bought at the dollar store, more or less, which there's nothing at the dollar store worth $1 anymore. So it's kind of a silly name. It's kind of like MTV, didn't play music television. So Dollar General stores are a lie. There's nothing in there for $1. All right, so our sauce is good to go. Now, if you're, like I saying, we're doing this to order, whatever else like that, same thing. If you did this in a restaurant industry, you can chill it and then portion it up, bag it, and then just kind of, you have a 5-ounce bag of linguine, whatever the case might be. You pick up on an order, you can plop it back into the water if you wanted to warm it up that way. Or like I said, just toss it into the sauce, do it that way, warm it up that way. Either way works perfectly fine. And you can do this at home. So it's as simple as that. So if you get done with your pasta water, you can leave it around. It's perfectly fine. Leave it around. Let's say it sits there an hour, and then you just kind of warm it back up and just hit your pasta in there, just right into there real quick, pop, 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 and then boom, you're good to go. So either way works perfectly fine. Just if you did that, you just kind of washing off some of that extra virgin olive oil. But so we're gonna actually get this ready to roll here. Let me make sure this thing's all off. That's hot.
So on the extra virgin olive oil, I think everybody that's ever come here, because they're like, oh, I could pick the chef's brain. Any
Slim
brand, anything that you look for, or just best that you could do, like when everyone's like, oh, I bet you guys have the fanciest this and the fanciest that, and I always think that you're kind of more like the frugal gourmet. You don't ever see you chasing price point.
I always said, and I said this about the San Marzano tomatoes and stuff like that. It's like, you think Italy's going to give us the best quality extra virgin olive oil and ship it out here? No, you're not going to, unless you're spending buku dollar. You're not going to get the best quality of olive oil. And most of the olive oils, especially like the bigger name brands, they usually just blend. They have so many different areas where they take. So if the oil from Spain, oil from Italy, oil from Greece, and then they blend it all together to make a mass kind of meh olive oil. If you can find local olive oil, that's great. even in the states, it's good stuff. There was a place out in Queen Creek,
Queen Creek Olive
Arizona.
Company.
Yeah, Queen Creek Olive Mill, and they made good olive oil. Their extra virgin olive oil. Let me try that again. Their extra virgin olive oil was kind of um, bitter and peppery, but those are qualities that more or less you get from olive oil. It all depends on the you know the area they're grown and everything else like that. It kind of changes the flavors of things. So a little bitter, a little peppery, but it was still good. Um, Maybe not use it for all uses, but it was good quality. It all depends on your flavor to cheese cheese flavor choices. So if you're looking for something that's peppery or whatever the case might be, um, just try them, taste them. There's lots of tons of little places around that have the olive oil stores and the balsamic stores
Well,
and
I think I want to find out. I think it's one that's like near the Denver area, and I've been following them, but haven't gone there live and in person yet. Going to, and they have like all the olive oils. It reminds me of places that we saw in Arizona that you could go taste in the flavors. And we've done some of the sweet blends and different
hmm
balsamics that they have and stuff like that. And it's so good with certain breads or desserts or something like that going on. So it's fun to go in those little shops, taste it. That's what it's there for. And then get like a little bottle of something
yeah,
that might not be your everyday, but I think it's, you get the $20 bottle and people go, ooh, 20, but it lasts a long time and it is fun and different.
yeah. I mean, usually a lot of the times people use extra virgin for finishing,
Mm-hmm.
finishing on a plate, for for pasta, or obviously vinaigrettes and sort of those sort of things. So it's more or less of a finishing thing. It's not necessarily something that you uh, cook with so much. So it's kind of a finishing touch at the end.
Yeah, it's almost like its own sauce in a way.
Exactly it. Exactly it. So you drizzle a little bit around the plate or on top of your product, and it's delicious. It comes out great, and it gives it a nice little shine. Everything else of that, but um, like I said, it's all a matter of taste. I can tell you choose this or choose that, and you might go, I don't like it, and that's okay. That's the whole thing of trying new things and tasting. Anybody can make recommendations, but if it's not for you, then it's not for you. It's like, what are you gonna do?
And if you don't like spicy, don't get spicy.
Yeah, yeah,
if you
that's
if you
exactly
love
it.
if and you're spicy and my spicy, it could be two different levels of spicy. So it's there's spicy, there's Taco Bell spicy, there's different versions of spicy.
Exactly
You
it.
know.
So we're gonna basically trying to find like an area where it's like not gonna blow the plate up, but you can toss it in olive oil or toss it in the sauce if you want to. Um, we're just gonna kind of go across here and just kind of it's nice and light, and with the olive oil on there anyway, you know it's not gonna stick. But yeah, we want to kind of work a little bit of sauce into there. You can kind of I'll do that for the one.
Yeah.
So pardon my reach, your camera.
Can I get a spoon? Got it.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Look at that. Bada bing, bada boom. So we're gonna toss just a little bit of the red sauce into here, without the chunks so much. Switch it out.
Okay.
Bring that on over here. Toss it on up into there. Typically, this is the way you'd want to serve it anyway, because like that's all pretty and cute and everything else like that, but you don't want it to be dry. It's the same thing as like a salad. You don't bring a salad out and then bring the dressing on the side and then have the person dress it themselves, because you get that pocket of like vinaigrette prevalent, and then you get dry, nasty mescaline. It's like on its own. It's like not so much.
I want to point out the difference of always being the chef wife thing versus the regular thing. Is I always brought out, you put a plate of pasta, you just pasta out there. You could always tell the chef thing. They always put the pile in the middle, then they put the thing on top, and they make it always very pretty. We've had grilled cheese sandwiches, Tostino's pizza rolls, random things that we would do finding in the freezer finds that the kids left in the house, and then he would plate it pretty, and it would just look amazing. So it's sometimes the simplest thing because I think it looks like pasta looks simple, man. You just played it pretty.
Right, exactly. Well, during COVID, a little bit of parm on top here. But as you can see, that's pretty much it, man. That's happiness on a plate right there. So I'll bring this bad boy in. As you can see, I mean that's that's beautiful, simple, easy, and we're gonna sit down and enjoy this here in a couple of minutes. But you had something that you're gonna add into there, and we're gonna say. Did you forget?
No, shiny quarter. I got fixated on food, um, so no, I was just sitting there like this looks great. This is also I kind of felt like you were kind of giving that I know you're like shunned me, but the Olive Garden moment with the guys like with the grater, but you just got your other just grater. And I think the other thing is that people are always like, oh, you're with a chef, I bet you have a bunch of appliances. And here's a real world fact. I had a bunch of gizmos and he kind of came in and was like, oh my gosh, what is this? What is this? What is this? It's very few things that I find you using. You like your wooden spoon, you like your tongue, and you like this guy for everything. This is your microplane, right?
Yeah, microplane.
But I've seen you do it with the cheeses. I've seen you do it with nutmeg. And it's not like you have like, oh, here's this grater, here's this grater, here's this grater. It's like you're always about like you don't need a lot of things. So if you're starting up a kitchen or you're giving gifts to people or starting out with stuff, couple basic things that like go to Ross, go to Home Goods. We've got some really cool things. It's like, I mean, hey, if you could do Shirley Tab or Crate and Barrel, hey, you guys want to sponsor us? But they're out there and they're really reasonable.
That's right. That's right. These are great. I mean, this is a multi-purpose thing. We use this on cheese. You can use this on zest, on lemons, oranges, if you're putting it in the cookies or desserts or whatever. Um, uh, Use it on nutmeg. It works great. And I always say, ladies, if you ever lose your pet egg, it's great on the back of your heels too. Just make sure you wash it.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah.
Don't mix and match.
It does look like the Parmesan cheese, which is the first time I ever seen a pet egg on the commercial. I sat down. It was like one of the few times I sat down in a restaurant, working in an Italian restaurant. Sat down, big old plate of what we got going on right here in front of us. I had the cheese and everything on top of it, beautiful Parmesan and everything else. And the commercial for pet egg came on, and they did the whole, they emptied the egg, and the shavings of the heels on and I'm like, what? I'm like, nah. And I was like, that was it. Pushed the plate away, and I was done. I couldn't eat. Like that was just nasty. But please don't use this as your pet egg. I always make that as a joke, and we do a lot of joking around here because in the restaurant industry, there's no taboos. That we just kind of joke about everything and just laugh and whatever else. But don't use that as a pet egg, please don't. So, all right, so we're gonna sit down. We're gonna eat. We're gonna continue to talk a little bit more, and we'll try to eat and talk a little bit more. But we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are sitting down and getting ready to eat here. If you notice above us, it's a gorgeous mid-century kind of Danish
inspired.
Yeah, but right now, if you ever watched like really bad 1950s sci-fi movies on Tubi, which we do all the time, we love those movies. It looks like we're in the laboratory, and we're getting ready to go out into the Martian. We're looking for the abominable snowman out there, or the Yeti. It's like there's a lot of those really bad movies out there. So yeah, it's it's just crazy looking, but it is super cool. The light is awesome, but as you can see, it's snowing outside. It's beautiful. We love it, at least. I don't know how the most of the North Carolinians feel about it, but we love it.
We don't. Hey, you know what? We don't have to drive. We're not promoting driving, so we're staying safe, North Carolina, and. Yep. This is novel. This is there's been sprinkles that happen in Phoenix, but definitely not like this. And as my coworkers keep saying, I caused this. So you're welcome, or I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got to play it like Dean Martin, man. Since there's no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Why not? And we enjoy it. So, and this is a blast. So,
right,
cheers to this impromptu first cooking show here in Charlotte, and I guess happy 2026
Yeah.
and all the other good stuff. So
I
anyway, my wife, I'm gonna go
yeah.
Borat, but my wife tell a little bit something about her industry and what she does for a living, and you know, it's pretty fun, amazing. Well, I'm just saying it's amazing. She is literally my hero because of what she does for a living, and I think it's huge. It's important. Obviously, when she tells you all about it. So tell us where you're at and what you do.
uh, I'll I work in radiation oncology, so we'll do a little terminology here. So everybody thinks chemo, that's medical oncology, and there's radiation oncology. So one is medicine through an IV or pill, and we're the ones that go in the big machine. You got the machines that will go give your treatment. So I have a field that's kind of obscure but important. I am a medical dosimetrist. You can look it up and try to spell that later. Everyone struggles with that. And I'm more behind the scenes. So you get your scans and your images, you come in, doctor draws the target where the cancer was or where the cancer will be, or not will be, but where it's currently at if they haven't had a surgery. And we work with direct software to direct the radiation beams to get it just exactly where the cancer is and not the surrounding tissues. And this is where my coworkers and my husband makes fun of me is I talk with my hands, and I'm at work and I'm always talking with my hands. And I work with a medical physicist, so go look that up. And they're like, you're trying to explain what's going on with the patient. And you're like, well, we're here and I need to be here. And we go to here. And he's like, please just show me on the screen. You've been trying to explain a patient's cancer care via your hands for the past 5 minutes. Can't help it. For those of you guys that use Teams communication or Zoom or all the other internet communications, sometimes your camera on or your camera off. I'm really unsuccessful camera off because I will still point at the screen and I'll still use my hands when I'm trying to describe my cases and stuff. Uh, but it's a great field. It's something I stumbled into just going into medical, and but it's very satisfying. You're directly with patients' care fighting their cancer. It's a great thing to do. It's satisfying.
I don't mind when she talks with her hands. It's when she drives when she's talking with her hands that bothers and scares me because it's like hands on the wheel, and then all of a sudden this hand's over here, and then this hand's over here, and then she's going like this, and then going into the people behind me and everything else, and I'm like, drive, just please put one hand at least on the wheel, please, just one hand on the wheel. It's funny how uh, the Italian comes out of you on certain things. It's like when I'm on the road, it's like you're on the road, the Italian comes in, hand talking, and everything else. That I'm driving on the road, and the Philadelphia comes out of me, and it's like it's entertaining. It's loud. It's vocal.
I, it's loud.
It's it's definitely loud. But yeah, what are you gonna do? So it's one of those things where things come out of your mouth.
You know,
What are you gonna do?
you know how a Philadelphia driver is feeling every bit of the way. There's no surprise. Are they frustrated? You will know. Are they angry? You will know. There's no surprise.
Yep.
And if you're happy, then you do your sing along music thing, and you will know. It's loud that way too.
Sign language is thank you. This is something completely different. So yeah, one of those things. You just you know.
Can we have a bite?
We can have a bite. We can eat. Yeah. We're sitting here talking and chatting it up and everything else. But proof is in the. We should have made pudding. Oh, butterscotch pudding right now would have been fantastic. There's certain things in life where it's like like yes, eating fancy and doing this and doing that, but you know what? That box of Jello pudding that just hits right, especially on a cold wintry day like this. Oh my god, rice pudding would be good too. Warm rice, or bread pudding.
This
Fantastic.
This is really good because it's like you got your spaghetti sauce. There's a little hint of heat. I don't know if you mentioned it, but I know when I was watching earlier, like you kind of did a little bit of what you sauteed the onions at the beginning with a little bit of splash of red wine or something because they were looking purpley.
Yep. So I wanted it to be more chunky, so I kind of cut the onions what I call fajita style. Basically, if you had a half onion, you kind of cut the little on the root end off of it. So half an onion, and you kind of cut the root end off of it, and then you just kind of go around the onion, just kind of up all around that, so that it's nice strips. Now, obviously, you can cut them thick or thin, whatever case you're using it. I think a medium cut. I'm gonna. This is kind of an idea. Can you can you can you see that? Can you see that? That's what we're looking at. That's a pepper, but that's kind of the cut that we're looking for. So it's a little chunky, and basically what I did is, yes, I extra virgin olive oil in the pan, got it warm, not too hot. You don't want the smoking. Extra virgin olive oil, not good, kind of destroys it. Um, but get it warm, put the onions in there, and what they call sweating, and just like when we sweat, it just kind of renders out the liquids, more or less what we're doing with the onions. Sweat it down a little bit, a little salt, a little pepper, and then I went in with some finely chopped garlic, fennel seed that I finely chopped, and the uh, pepper flakes. Mixed it all into there, cooked it down nice and slowly. You don't want it to brown. Anything when you burn, brown garlic, it does take on a more of a bitter, burnt flavor to it, and you don't want that. Um, so just kind of render it down, cook it nice and slowly. The word translucent, that's kind of what you're looking for. So once you got down to that point, then I added in the red wine. And when you're cooking with red wine or white wine or any type of liquor, to be honest with you, you want to use something that's good enough quality that you could drink it. Don't buy the boxo wine. The car Bordeaux, like I like to call it. Don't buy that kind of stuff. Buy the gooder. Buy the better quality wine. That's gonna be 9 to 12, $13 range. Bottle of wine. It's a decent bottle of wine. It's drinkable. It's palatable. It's not going to be bitter sulfites. Just kind of meh. Just a decent quality wine. So something that you'd be okay drinking if you're cooking as well. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say though, if you were talking about like people like, oh, they're getting rid of me for your price point, and you're like, oh, better quality, $9 to $12, and you're probably some people going, oh, I thought he was gonna say 30. Hey, if you're cooking with a $40 to $60 wine, invite us, hire him. You guys are some fun people. That's some nice cooking wine.
That's the kind of clientele that you want to have. Yes, but yeah, you don't need to spend a ton of money to get a good quality product in the end. Um, as long as you know what you're doing, and as long as you do it the right way, that's all that really matters. You can give anybody the best quality ingredients in the world. If they don't know what they're doing, they're going to mess it up. And the end product is not going to be good. So,
if you're uncertain, I mean, we're kind of exploring just the area. So any recommendations you have, I mean, we support local. We believe in local. We're super excited here about farmers markets and stuff. But like we found wonderful little wine shop in Concord. I think it's called Cellar Door, or
I can't remember the name.
And but they have wine to sample. You could they have free to sample. They have wine that you could other purchase, and the recommendations and stuff are there. So you could still get a wonderful $12 to $15 bottle of wine, have it sampled to know what your flavor is, because my liking of your red and your liking of red can be totally different, and they're going to help you out for what you like. And then you have a bottle of wine that you really enjoy. That's you don't have to go with so and so's name brand or what's trendy or whatever TikToker or something. And it's fun, it's a nice day, and then you walk beautiful downtown Concord and you look at the beautiful historic buildings and other fun shops and stuff, and then you have a bottle of wine to leave to cook or drink or something with it. It's a journey. It's been a fun journey for us. That's what we're all about.
I think they were a husband and wife couple that owned that place, and I really wish I remember the exact name of it. But yeah, they were super knowledgeable and very willing to steer you in the right direction for what kind of wine that they have on hand, and to get your flavor profile once they kind of figure out what you like. And they were fantastic, and they do food and wine pairing dinners as well, which I'm gonna get hooked up with them soon and try to have some of those food and wine pairing dinners at their place, as well as obviously over here. As you can see, we have a really nice little. This is our dining area here, but then we have a fancier dining area over there. The colonial kind of dining area that we have going on over there.
It
We're
it
working on it.
it
So
seats more people, but this is our regular. This is our dinette area. This is where, like most of you guys, you're kind of eating in your kitchen. Full disclosure, because we could see the TV. We're not going to fake it out. But no, I think, but like I said too, you could talk to people, especially if you're not a wine person. I think people hear wine and they go, "Oh, wine! I'm going to bring wine to the party." Just explore, find your thing. If your price point's whatever, it's what you enjoy, or if you're just trying to bring, impress the future in-laws, then go to a wine shop or go to a finer grocery store that they have people that could do recommendations, and then bring that, and then at least you have a story to go. I had the thought, I researched it, I brought recommendations. They might or might not like it, but at least there was some forethought to say, hey, I did this, thought about it.
yeah,
I mean, it's a learning journey, for all of us. But I think that kind of makes it fun too, and especially if you're bringing a gift, it's not just ye old bottle of wine. It's someone said it was this, someone said it was from Italy, Spain, name your country, and you have a little story or something local. We're still exploring what we have in North Carolina and up the East Coast of what vineyards are and what varieties, and I think that's cool because it's totally different than what we have as Southwest varieties
yeah,
of wine.
exactly. And when the first bottles of wine that came out of Arizona were kind of rough. Be honest with you, there was one place I remember when I first moved out there in 2000. Who bought a bottle of Cocopelli wine? Holy God, um, who was not good, man. That place went out of business in Chandler a long time ago. But man, that was not good, man. I wouldn't even soak my feet in that if I had another bottle of that. Man, it was awful. Oh, it was bad.
But
But there were other good wines out there. Pillsbury wine, owned by Sam Pillsbury, actually over our house for that Sunday brunch,
mhm.
which was amazing. And that guy is a talented movie director and now making wine phenomenal. Um, what's his name?
The
Maynard from the band Tool that owns was it
Stronghold,
Stronghold, I think it is,
yeah,
and uh,
the
I'm gonna
Wiccan,
get it wrong.
the
Caduceus or is
yeah,
that
something
it's something like that. It's something like that. I'm gonna get it mixed up with the town out here in North Carolina. Was it
Canapolis.
Canapolis? No,
Yeah.
not Canapolis. It was something I can't remember. We're still new here, folks, so we're learning, and but yeah, I can't remember. Was it Cabarrus? Right?
Oh,
Cabarrus.
that's a
That's what.
county.
Yeah, okay. It's a county. Okay. Um, and then Catawba, and
Mhm.
but we're learning. We're finding places out here that are gems, and we've stumbled across places all around the valley and jump all around the valley. All around the area here that we came across that one. What was it? Steve's Butcher Shop. Is that what it was
Steve's
called?
Country Store and Butcher Shop
Oh,
in north of Mooresville, like kind of south of Salisbury, north of Mooresville, but the area he's in Iredell County, but
we don't even know where we
awesome.
were. We
But
don't even know where we
we
were.
just don't go back roads of the weekend, and we just see where we go when we ignore Siri, and we just see where we go. But he was awesome. I mean, it's a country store, it's a butcher shop, it's doing local. It had the boiled peanuts, and it had the um, liver mush, which we learned about, and just different things. And it had crafts, and he was a gem of knowledge of what to see and go and just chat with him. And it was a family business, which is super what we're
That's the best
into.
part about it right there. And the liver mush out here, for people back in the Philadelphia area, uh, we call it scrapple up there. So basically the same thing. So if you don't like scrapple, don't come down here and have liver mush. But for breakfast, you saute that off and get that nice and get that little crispiness on the outside of it. Serve that with a couple of poached eggs and some hollandaise sauce over that. Man, it's good stuff. Good stuff. Now we're gonna have to do a brunch
Oh,
cooking show, which would be great as well. So, but earlier we were talking about wine, saying about how um, you don't have to spend a ton of money on a bottle of wine, which is true. They have different levels, different tiers of wine, and each of the house, the wines. So um, we used a lot of for our cooking classes back in Arizona. We used a company called Sean Miner, And Sean Miner, to kind of give you a rundown, he was a local guy that went to Arizona State University, graduated from there, opened up a winery out in California, and they produced a really good wine, solid wine that you can get for, and I don't want to misquote, but at that time it was $10 to $13 for their lower tier wine, and then they would bump it up to about 18 to 24, $25 for their second tier of wine. And then you taste those two wines together. They were both so close in quality that you couldn't tell first tier from second tier. Normally, like when you have like wine from other companies, you can taste the difference between first tier, second tier, third tier. You know, or it's like it just steps it up. And I mean, you get to that third tier, and like, oh my god, this is the same wine as whatever. Um, but if you find a good quality wine, especially like at a less expensive price, stick with it. Nobody needs to know how much you spent on the bottle of wine. If somebody drinks it and goes, "Wow, that's really good quality wine," that's all that matters. You
Just
don't need to. Yeah,
just
you
say
don't.
thank you.
Yeah, you don't need to. You don't need to roll out and go, "Oh, it was a $75 bottle of wine," or whatever, 200, 3, 4, 5. You just keep going up the uh, up the grade on that. You don't need to spend a ton of money on that. If it's a good quality bottle of wine, who the hell cares how much you spend on it? Then you just be an ass. I spent whatever. Who cares? It's a good bottle of wine. But find something that sticks with it. Like we had the Heston bottles of wine, and they were fantastic bottles of wine. But they averaged from $50 to $75 for a bottle of wine. It was a good quality bottle of wine. We would serve that for a lot of our food and wine pairing dinners, and they were delicious, and people were like, "Wow, that's amazing." But then you'd sneak a bottle of wine in there for like $15 for like the first course or something like that, and people were like, "That's amazing. That was my favorite wine." And that was the whole thing. It's like each person's taste differs, and it doesn't matter if I spend 50 or 500 or $5,000 on a bottle of wine. If you don't like it, you don't like it. I mean, it's as simple as that. Or if you love it, you love it. Who cares? Everybody's tastes are different, and that's the fun of exploring and having like a good sommelier that can kind of walk you through those stages, and show you that you don't need to spend a ton of money on the wine to get a good quality product. So, um, but yeah, like we were saying with the store in Concord, they were great. They walked us through it, and they kind of showed us the wine and talked us and showed you know the different wines and everything else like that, and it was amazing. Like I said, just having somebody there to kind of show you what to choose and what to look for and everything else like that. So um, I mean, we're not new to the wine business or anything else like that, but the people who are, I mean, you want to kind of go to places that that can show you and kind of steer you in the right direction, and not try to steer you down the path of like, you need to buy this bottle of wine for $500 or whatever. Like, yeah, you can buy a nice decent bottle of wine and be able to be happy with it, and who cares on the price? It
Well,
doesn't matter.
I think also the interesting thing is, I think the preconception is that a lot of people think, oh, I got to be in uptown, because we know it's not called downtown, but I got to be in uptown, or if you're from Arizona, I got to be in Scottsdale or something to find these hidden gems of people that are knowledgeable. They could be in what's a smaller town. I mean, I know Concord's Charlotte adjacent and stuff like that, but they could be in these other towns, and it's people that love what they do, and they just want to share it too. And even the other local farms and stuff. If you got a person farming peaches, they know peaches. Pick their brain.
All right, hate to
Oh,
interrupt here, but look at the snow blowing out there. I don't know if it shows up on camera very well, but man, is it kicking up out there.
you were losing our hillside. Like you used to see steps. We have a little Philadelphia Eagles gnome, because yard gnome,
Yes.
and we've been watching the snow level go up, but I'm like my gnome meter, and now you can't see the guy anymore. There's just a little like a snow drift of a hump where the Eagles gnome is.
Yes, so the snow is over his head, just like head coaching is for Nick Sirianni. But
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he got him to the Super Bowl twice, won once, but as far as I'm concerned, he needs to go. He sucks. He's ass. Philly's coming out.
Yeah, see,
Philly's coming out. Sorry.
So my one son always said, you know what? when Lou watches an Eagles game, I can't tell if he's happy or sad because it's the same yelling at the TV screen for both actions going on. It's kind of true. It's a noisy thing of a it's a passionate fan. You don't get that as much with Cardinals fans as much. I think
There's no such thing as a Cardinal fan.
but it's a passionate fan. The Philly, I have learned Philly fans are or anything Philadelphia are very passionate about their sports. And Lou will show me like videos of everything's catastrophic in their life, whatever could be going downhill, and then you show these videos of these Philadelphians of like still talking about whatever sports team they're into, and it just cracks me up because that's what I mean. They're passionate. I mean that is name the sport, but there's some passion going on, and those players mess up. That is crazy talk, crazy.
We're rabid, literally. No one doubt it. Yeah, we're rabid as far as a fan base, but we love our team. We support our team, good or bad. But we do point out when you're bad. So we cheer you on as hard as we can when you're good, and we'll boo the hell out of you when you suck, and when we see you not trying. And that's the way it should be. You look at the average price of an NFL ticket or even baseball, basketball, you name it. It's overpriced. It's ridiculous. First of all, let's talk about having to buy all these apps and everything else like that to watch an NFL season nowadays. I mean, the NFL ticket. What is it? Wasn't there one on YouTube too? YouTube, Amazon Prime, Netflix.
They're on Paramount.
Paramount.
What do they split it on? So yeah, they got it like on 4 or 5 networks plus the regular network, which you almost have to get cable to get the regular networks, or Google TV or YouTube TV app or something. So what do they say? Where it was like to watch
it came almost like $1,500 or $1,600 to be able to watch every single game. It's like, how freaking rich do you think we are, Roger Goodell? You know, seriously, it's like, give me a freaking break. And like, you can't even watch the local team because they're on Amazon Prime. I'm not going to spend that to watch whatever. It's like, Carolina had a good season this year. It's like, and they're going to be put on Netflix and whatever else like that. It's like, I'm not spending that kind of money to have those apps to watch Carolina, Philadelphia, you name it. I'm not going to, why would we spend that kind of money? It's like, and then buying a ticket to go see a game anyway. It's like, $300, $400, $500 for a ticket per person, and then you got parking, and then God help you if you want to have something to eat or drink. It's like, like it's a ripoff, absolute ripoff. And then you're going to ship our games over to Europe and everything else like that for what? Expats that sit there and go, look, I'm wearing my Dolphins uniform to a Minnesota game because I'm over here in England. And I'm like, who cares? Let's let it slip. Yeah, just kind of, I don't know. Where are we going with this conversation? Expensive stuff. Anyway. The Eagle out there covered up.
Yeah, there we go.
The funny thing is, the Eagles, they were looking for an offensive coordinator. So what they did, they hired a quarterbacks coach from the Green Bay Packers to be our offensive coordinator. Then they hired an offensive coordinator to be our quarterbacks coach. Like I said, Sirianni, over your head, bro. You and Big Dom. But anyway, whatever. I never understood Big Dom. You just walk around and stun, whatever.
Now you can see where I just kind of keep eating. So, like, full disclosure, this was a surprise thing. I was sitting there happily reading my little library book over there. This is lunchtime. I'm eating lunch. I'm not going to pretend like I'm not going to eat. And I'm also not going to, like, girl eat. Okay, one, because you could play the game. Okay, you're married. You just eat now. But also, like, enjoy eating. If you're going to go on a date and you're an eater, go eat, because they're going to figure out at some point that you don't naturally eat salmon. Just don't do that. And I think we're always the funny people at the restaurants, because he'll always get like the salmon or something, which I've tried. I just can't do it. I know it's good for me. And I'll be the one like with the cheeseburger with the pimento cheese. And then the waiter always comes out and does like one of these. And then we're like, no, I'm the cheeseburger. He's the salmon with the salad with the vinaigrette, because he enjoys it and I enjoy it. And it is what it is. But it is entertaining every single time we go to a restaurant, and I'll eat like just something calorie laden, and you'll do something, quinoa or whatever. And then it's like, they're always trying to give it to me. And then I always have to like almost do like the wave of shame of like, oh no, I'm the Alfredo, I'm the chicken parm, or I'm the name what other gooey happiness is there. And then, switch it back so he gets his salmon or his chicken or broccolini or
I am kind of frou Lou, but at the same time, uh, there's also a heart health issue as well. It's like I'm tired of taking 5 or 6 medications for the fact that I eat like in a restaurant. You got to understand. I used to work at places where I would go in like as a pastry chef. I started off as a pastry chef. You go in there, you do a party, you have a party of 20 people, you always wind up having to make a few extra because, God help you if you break one or whatever the case might be. So you always make 23, creme brulee or whatever the case might be. But then you go in there and the next morning and there's creme brulee left over for, whatever. And you're like, in my mind, I can justify this. It's eggs, and eggs are great for breakfast. Now, topping it with sugar and caramelizing it and whatever else, it's still eggs. But I understand. I make bad choices in life. I mean, you're my third wife. But you get the point. I make bad choices in life, but you kind of redeem yourself. You kind of you steer clear of the heavy creams and everything else now and again, and you eat something healthier and you have the salad instead of the French fries and whatever else. It's not as fun. I love French fries. It's like
but
it's one of the fried
it.
foods I
I mean,
like.
you enjoy it. I
Yeah.
think there's a little bit of, full disclosure, folks, I can cook. I lived on my own. I could cook. Might be more of a Betty Crocker cook, but I could cook. But it's I sometimes will go out for the junky things, because the junky things, if you go grocery shopping, like you get the junky salad, right, folks? So then it has the avocados or the craisins and the 14 ingredients. You buy it yourself, it's a bazillion dollars, and you're not going to use it all. So I go for the quote salad that's super junky. He goes for whatever else. I think he also knows like I could make that, and I'm always like the shopping mind of, oh, that would be like 14 things that we wouldn't use up. So I'll go for that. You put 14 toppings on a burger, I'll go for it. It's totally not feasible to hold or whatever, but you're thinking you're never going to do that at home. So I guess I go my way with my own logic, and you go your way with your own logic, and I just figure I'll just schedule a gym class next week and compensate, and whether I hit it or not, I schedule it. I schedule it, folks. It's on there. It's on my app. That's my chef wife compensation, is just a gym membership. So if you go that route, just if you're going to go in that relationship thing, just gym membership, and then you just totally could justify everything else you do. I think that's my theory.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, it is.
I used to run half marathons. Then I had both hips replaced. Now I don't run so much anymore. I don't run at all. Run my mouth.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm good at that. I'm an ultra marathoner on that one. But yeah, and you notice I'm slowly eating this pasta here. I'm in the restaurant catering industry for over 30 years. Um, it's very rare that I've actually had a sit down hot meal in those past 30 plus years. So cold pasta, I'm fine with. I got a glass of wine. Who the hell cares? Is there pasta in front of me? Who cares? But wine is good too. It's grapes.
Yeah.
It's fruit.
It's fruit.
It's fruit. And it's the best way to have fruit right there.
Yeah.
So just saying.
No, but this is great. This isn't. Sometimes you get pasta and it's like, and you've made homemade pasta, and we've had hits or misses, and you're gonna have hits or misses.
Wait. I've never had a miss when I made homemade pasta.
You've had really good and.
You see the look on my face right now that I'm giving you? I'm like, where's this going?
There's levels of I've really enjoyed it and I've enjoyed it. How about that? It's a comparative form.
She's cut off from the wine, folks.
No, I'm saying this. Sometimes it's like it's thicker or thinner, or you've experimented. I eat all your experiments, but you've experimented with different flours and stuff. And okay, and he tries to serve me healthy. As you see the whole disclosure here, he's tried that. What was it? Not the
wheat flour. Yeah,
the wheat
flour. That didn't go over well.
You try.
It was delicious. Anyway,
it's to each their own. It was good if you. There's certain things like, you know what? There's like a disclosure that if you don't know us, it's like, I am certainly more of the white trash eater. I have like a really strong, my gut could handle a lot more than him. And I am really simple. So it's like, you give me a wheat pasta or a white flour pasta, I know I'm going to go go for the white flour pasta. I know my little thing. It's a thing. I'll eat it. It's good for you and all that other stuff. But I mean, I enjoy just the super basic. I'm not a foodie. I appreciate good food, but I'm not a foodie. I'm not like, oh, chef wife, what are you eating? Oh, we're eating blah blah blah. We
Let's see
do.
this face.
I know. I'm like digging a
She's
hole.
like she's trying to redeem herself for another glass of wine. Let's be honest with
Like it's
you.
way
Uh huh.
across the table and I have my T
Hmm.
Rex arms. I could grab his glass though. But I mean, there's been when you play around with what you have, you've admitted sometimes you have some hits or wins that you would tweak it a bit more.
Well, there's always things that you try and you're like, I would do this differently. Like um when I made the gnocchi recently, I should have dried the potato out a little bit more, because it took a little bit more flour, so they were a little bit more on the gummier side, which I wasn't happy about. But at the same time, normally I roast my potatoes and that dries them out fairly well. So when you mash it up, you wind up with a drier potato starchy kind of texture to it. Uh, and I used these were Yukon Gold potatoes that I used,
Mm-hmm.
and I boiled them and then I peeled them off. And what I should have done was mash it up and then dry it out a little bit because they were a little bit on the moist side. So then when I added all the eggs and the ricotta and everything else like that into there, it got a little bit softer than what I wanted it to be. So I had to add more flour to it. It worked out fine. It was a perfect, dumpling and everything else like that. But it could have been better. And that's the whole thing is like when you do things, they're like, all right, so this is what I would do the next time around. And cooking is a learning process. And no matter how many years you've been doing it, there's always something that you learn. And if you think that you know everything, you don't know anything at all. So once you feel like you know everything, you're either full of shit or you're gonna die. So that's the way it is. I mean, once you stop learning in the field that you're in, then it's over. You think you know everything. The hell with it. You don't know it. You don't know anything. Um,
But I
it's new every day, and that's what makes it so much fun. You know,
well, I think how you, especially with culinary school and being in the industry and stuff, you know taste and flavor and expectation, and you learn by ratios. And some of us are, I guess I'll call it Betty Crocker cooking. You have your recipe book, and when you're around Lou, there's not as much like recipes. So some people come up and go, "Well, what's the how much?" And he's like, "It's you should know, and you have an expectation, or you get a perception." I still will like kind of taking your critique of it. If I like it a certain way, then scribble it. It's your recipe book. Scribble in the book and then write 2 teaspoons of salt or less salt or use whatever else or something that you found out as a because you didn't have the regular ingredient in there and now it's nutmeg instead of cinnamon or whatever. Write it in because a year from now, especially on holiday recipes we just got through, you go, oh man, what did I do that was so amazing? Write in your books. I mean, if you're going to be a recipe person, I'm still defaulting recipe person. I'm exploring going rogue more being with you. Write it down because I mean those are what Bob Ross happy accidents.
mm,
Work your happy accident in cooking, man, because that's super cool.
I wish I could grow a Bob Ross fro. That'd be awesome.
I could do a Bob Ross fro.
Yeah, you can because
We've seen pictures of me when I had my short haircut in the 80s.
All right, I got some wonderful pictures of what's her name, Kelly Ripa, when she was younger on the
Oh,
dancing
yeah,
whatever the
yeah, the
teeny
dance
bopper
show.
thing.
Yeah,
She was a spitting image for her, and it was amazing and it's funny as hell. But I'll put that together. But where are we going with this?
oh,
When
yeah.
people are learning how to cook and everything else like that, and people always ask me, well, how long do I cook it? And I'm like, till it's done. And people get angry because they're like, well, what does that equal out to be? And I'll say, it's between 8 minutes and 12 minutes. They're like, well, that's a big range. I'm like, exactly, because not every single time is it going to be the same thing. Like if you cook a fillet from beef tenderloin, the tail end over here, the head end over here, the head end is going to take a lot longer to cook than a fillet from center cut because it's just I don't know why it just is. This is why you watch Alton Brown. Alton Brown is fantastic, by the way. If you ever get a chance to watch that guy, he's awesome. He knows the scientific thoughts and everything else of that. And then if you ask me, I'll just say because you do. You know what I mean? Why do I do it that way? Because you just do. You know what I mean? That's the way that I teach. It's like because you do. Um, I don't know the exact reasons why this or that or everything else of that for everything. I know a lot, but not not everything. That's the whole thing about learning. It's like you're never gonna know every single thing, and that's the best part. Is that everything's a learning process. But take notes, watch, observe. I can hand anybody a recipe and everybody's going to follow it verbatim for every single thing. But every single time that you make a tomato sauce, every time you make whatever, the tomatoes are going to be different. This and that's going to be different. You know, that's going to be more acidic. It's going to be more sweet. It's going to this or that. If you follow the recipe, it's going to be like you taste it and you're like, that's sweeter than the last time, or it's more bitter than the last time. Yes, because every single time that you make something, it's going to be different. So it's a matter of taste and learn how to taste things and learn how to adjust to those things. I can give you a recipe, but unless it's like making dessert or something along those lines, where it's like you got to have these ingredients in there and you can't take away from things and adjust this and that. If I'm giving you a recipe for making how to make a red sauce or whatever the case might be, these are all suggestions, and it's a matter of taste. You know, if you don't like the way that I made certain things that you thought was too garlicky or this or that, you don't have to follow verbatim. You know, it's like just change it to the way that you want it to be.
Well,
So,
wouldn't it be like if you were just doing whatever the wine? I mean, if you throw in a sweeter or an oakier red or whatever,
yep.
it's gonna jazz it up. And then I think there's a little bit of like, and I don't know if you have like grandmother written recipes, and they are kind of like traditional cooking because it wasn't cookbooks and written down. It was kind of, if it got written down, it's because my grandmother did. It is a skosh or a splash or a heaping teaspoon, and my grandmother had a heaping teaspoon, and she first of all should have switched to a tablespoon and then heaped that, because that heaping teaspoon was like gravity to defying. It was like this, and but you don't know that from just reading the recipe. If you've seen it and you transferred it over, and you have to be a recipe person, then I don't know. It would have been, that heaping teaspoon probably would have been 4 tablespoons. It was like an amazing amount. It was like scooped to the death divine. But I think that's like,
Well,
know what you got.
certain things like when we do recipes for baking and stuff like that, I measure everything as far as weight. You know, so when people say, well, what does 8 ounces of flour equal? I'm like, well, why? What do you mean? And they're like, well, what does that equal in cups? I'm like, just go out and buy a scale. You know, you're talking 15, 20 bucks. If you take good care of it, you don't drop it, don't mess it up or anything else like that, it's going to last forever. It's going to be perfectly fine. Um, Buy a decent one, weigh it. Every time you weigh it, it's going to come out perfect. And doing that cup and a half plus 2 teaspoons and whatever. It's like, do you have time to do that? Instead of just going like, I got 12 ounces of flour. You know, instead of going 2 cups, a couple of tablespoons, a teaspoon, and a pinch, you're wasting time. Just and then what? You're gonna get the measuring cup and measure. Just weigh it out, get it done. Comes out perfectly every single time.
Especially like nowadays, you used to do can of beans. Now your can of beans went from 16 ounces to 14 ounces to 12 ounces. So you better look at when that recipe came out, because that can was probably before they, changed the sizing of products. So, like you said, if you weigh it out, it is what it is, what it is.
Yeah.
That could become a can and a half or half a can or whatever it needs to be. But then you know what it is, because I've had that with recipes that sat around, or recipe, Betty Crocker thing again, recipes that came from packages of stuff, and they've changed the packaging, and now you can't play with it. But if you measured it,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to go wrong.
Yeah. So.
And you look fancy pants, like you look really cool, because you're just sitting there like with the scale, or you look healthy, because you could measure your food and you're all like meal prepping and look healthy for that.
That's a good point right there, because like when you do, you're doing your healthy eating and stuff like that. How are you going to measure out 5 ounces of chicken or whatever the case might be, if you're kind of counting calories and stuff like that? How are you going to measure that with measuring cups? You don't. You buy a scale.
Doesn't have to be digital.
No, it doesn't have. We got the
old school
one over there. I'm gonna walk and get it, because it's a good point, and I'm on mic, so you can basically use this for everything, and that's the best part about it, is it can be used for everything. You want to measure out the steaks, so if you're cutting steaks for a dinner party, look, that's all it is. It's as simple as that. Boom, you know what I mean? I want an 8-ounce steak. Boom, I got an 8-ounce steak right there. It's like, you put it in there and measure it out. I want 5 ounces of flour. I got 5 ounces of flour right there. It's like 5 ounces of flour equals 1 cup, in case you wanted to know that. But anyway, and 8 ounces of sugar is 1 cup of sugar. it's different. You know what I mean? So it's different weight and everything else of that. But um, it works great. It works on everything, and it's worth the investment. And literally, I think I bought this. Actually, I bought this at Tab. I love orange and blue. Obviously, that's the color of my business, Loop De Loo. So if you're looking to hire a chef, loopdeloo.com. Loop De Loo Catering now here in the Charlotte, Lake Norman, blah, blah, blah areas, all that good stuff. But this thing cost me, I think, God, I bought this early 2000s, maybe at most.
X wives ago.
First.
Call it like it is, man.
Yeah, I gotta say, I was like,
the scales lasted longer than
Well, the fact that she didn't claim that in the divorce. Anyway, you threw me off now. Anyway, this will last a long, long time. The glass actually broke out a long time ago, so no big deal. But still, it works. It looks still decently, from a distance without the glass. Who cares? But it's easy to calibrate. A little knob down here, you just get it to 0, and then you're good to go. And it works great, and it works for so many different things. So make the investment, and it looks good on your shelf over there.
Well, it's not big. It's not heavy. It's not like you're moving a Cuisinart or something. So you definitely could put it under a cabinet where you put your mixers or do something else. I mean, it's definitely, it's definitely nothing to to worry about. But yeah, I think that's always something too. It's just like you said, you start looking at skills, and people do a lot of skill stuff now. Like you said, especially if you're meal prepping or whatever.
It's the best way to do it. Best way to do it.
You could do it for anything nowadays, and it is kind of there because boy, it's really disappointing to find out what a portion of meat and vegetables should really be. It's not this.
Yeah.
But
I mean, this was I got like 3/4 of a plate worth of food over here, but I mean, this is fun. I mean, this is unexpected for you.
Yeah.
I kind of had it planned in my head that I wanted to do this a long time ago. The fact that we got to do it on a beautiful snow day like this.
We're losing our yard.
Even better.
It's like one big.
We're losing our yard, but we're gaining a winter wonderland.
It looks like I was trying to get a food analogy. It looks like an icing thing. Or okay, so for those of us not growing up with weather, when you get your gingerbread houses and you're just playing with it each winter, and you put your icing and then you put your powdered sugar and it covers all the rocks and all that. I relate that just to my gingerbread house. And the other day I said to him, I go, the backyard's actually looking like our gingerbread house. And he goes, no, gingerbread houses match what your backyard should be like. Your backyard's not matching your gingerbread house. And then I was like, wow, my gingerbread house is accurate. I think that was that like moment because, all these years I've just kind of smeared my icing on it, put the powdered sugar because it's what you're supposed to do. And then you look out in your backyard, for those of us not in the know, and then you're like, oh my gosh, it's just like my gingerbread house, except like excessive now because it's a ridiculous amount happening here, folks. Snowmageddon 2026. But it's just
there's
beautiful.
A hashtag.
Oh, yeah.
Snowmageddon.
Right? I'm sure someone else has done that one. But it is when you don't have to drive in it or travel in it or take your kids somewhere or work in it or be the lineman or the police officers, the EMT or the nurses going to the hospitals or anything else with it, when you get to be just the little yahoos hanging out the house drinking in it, it's great. So we very lucky that it's a Saturday and get to enjoy it.
It would have been better if this was Christmas time.
Oh my gosh.
It would have been better if there was football on. There's so many things where I'm like, it could be better, it could be better, it could be better. But we're drinking a decent bottle of wine. We're having homemade food. And for the most part, we're enjoying each other's company.
We're so good.
So it's a perfect Saturday, if you ask me. And like I was saying, it was impromptu. It was one of those things I always wanted to do this because, letting everybody get to see, us and get to know you.
Yeah, there's a lot of times I'm behind the camera, or if I'm at a catered dinner, I'm the behind the scenes. I get to play the help or the server or something. So, or
Yeah.
I'm the usually one. He's cooking. I'm at the bar, which is not a bad location to be on the other side of the island with a glass of wine. Not bad mouthing it at all. But it is kind of interesting to be on this side. You know,
Yeah.
be there, pay attention, see what it is. This is like I said, matching didn't
Yeah.
happen on purpose. We look good though. We're humble.
You look good. Like I said, I still look like the final barista that you got to beat to get the Mr. Starbucks. But
Right.
um,
You kind of got like the longshoreman up top, and then you got the barista thing with
yeah,
the
with
apron going.
the
Oh, the
wrist things,
bees and yeah,
right?
yeah.
All I need is pronouns.
But
Uh,
yeah, but it's I think just people should just get out and just enjoy what you have. Like I said, we didn't go with any fancy ingredients and stuff. We're just flour and some peppers and an onion and
yeah, you can do this at home, folks. This is not something that it's not rocket science, and I think that's the kind of the goal is to show people not to be afraid to
yep.
cook at home and try to do new things um, and then make smart little investments like I said, the scale and even the pasta roller, to make food at home instead of the store bought ready to go stuff makes a big difference. Eating healthier and knowing exactly the ingredients that go into it. Um, I mean, pasta is flour, whatever it is, semolina or all-purpose flour, egg, olive oil, just a touch of water just to kind of bring it all together, and then salt. And then salt in the water because
But I think, but I think that's the thing too. And then also, like, if you invite someone over for homemade anything, it could be your best adventure. It could be an epic fail, but you're inviting people. It shows love. It shows effort. As people say now, it's intentional. But no, I mean,
mm,
I mean, not to be smarmy about it, but I think it is like you're sitting there going, I took the effort to invite you at my house, not to wing it at a restaurant. And I like going out to restaurants. I like the ambiance. I like the people. I mean, you've worked restaurant industry. I'm not going to bash a restaurant,
no,
but um, and there's wonderful ones out there. But it's also like you can have friends over, chat. We're doing the wine thing because we can, but whatever you enjoy, there's beautiful Italian sparkling waters that are flavored. There's, you enjoy iced tea. Heck, I like sweet tea as much as the rest of everybody out here. But enjoy what you have, and it just you're hanging out with people that sometimes you have a little more chance, and it's less overhead noise to just chat with people. How's it with your kids? How's it with your friends? I think it's kind of I've gone out to dinner with people and you're at such a long table and it's so noisy. You leave the restaurant an hour and a half later and they're like, hey, how was Scott? And you're like, I don't know. I couldn't hear it. I
I did
couldn't
everything.
whatever. And you're at a house and you get to, and even if you're helping them and, nicely should washing dishes or something afterwards or helping grab things out of the fridge for them, you get to chat with your friends. So don't leave them alone in the kitchen. Um, and just chat with them, and I think it's fun. I think people miss out on that a little bit, and so I don't think it takes a lot of you don't have to go super fancy pants on your ingredients to just have people over to your house.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
you know,
I love having people over, eat, drink, and have a good time over here. I just ask that you can hang out in the kitchen all you want, just kind of stay on the other side of the island, and we're good to go. Um, just let me do my thing over here, and we're gonna get food a hell of a lot faster than normal. But
well, I think also like some things too is that people come, and I know like meeting you years ago. Oh, chef's kitchen. I love HGTV, but you're like chef inspired kitchen, chef kitchen, chef kitchen. Is guys, it's not. I mean, I think the appliances are stuff great. It's not Wolf and Thermador and whatever. We
what you can
came in.
afford.
It if you were just doing the basics of cooking, you could do it off an electric stove, you could do it off a gas stove, you could do it off your GE, you could do it off your Frigidaire, you could do it off your Thermador. Um, the other ones just become, you go this big. It's impressive. They're beautiful. They're works of art on some of these Italian stoves that we've been at clients' houses.
Huh.
Um, Trust me, I'm sitting there like, ooh, stove envy. But it's like, it's still like just taking the effort and boiling water and stuff. It's just enjoy what you have going on. Don't be kitchen shamed.
Yeah.
It's just putting out food with love. I mean, that's so stupid and cliche and lame, but I think it really is like you get your electric two burner stove or whatever, and you invite me over, and you make some pasta, and even if you just take your pasta sauce and you just do whatever, you took effort to invite me over. That's cool.
Exactly it. That's exactly it.
You
Yeah,
know?
it doesn't need to be fancy. You put the effort and you put the, you hate to say it, with your love
Mm-hmm.
into the
Mm-hmm.
food and everything that that you're creating. You're showing that you care about the person or the people that you're inviting over. That, I didn't just order out pizza and bought a case of beer or whatever else like that. I actually put time and effort and thought into making something that I thought you would like and whatever else like
Well, I think like you think about, we just got through the holidays, and I think Thanksgiving and Christmas or Easter, your holidays you celebrate, are usually the one times that people still take the effort to cook. And some of our fondest memories still are like the bad vacation. It's like the year of the burnt turkey or the ham or the fish that went wrong. So sometimes it's like even your epic fails are still strong memories that you have with people. And it, because usually the end of the story is, remember how we all laughed, or we just did this, or we ended up eating X instead, and that was the year of the peanut butter sandwich because it was so inedible. But it becomes like your family memory. And I think that, so sometimes it's like we try for perfection all the time, and you're like, even your fails become really fun memories. And I don't be afraid to try. I mean, not everything's going to turn out. I've done stuff, totally forgot an ingredient out of a cake mix or whatever, and you're like, this doesn't look right, and you're like, oh, and there's a bowl of sugar or whatever it is off to the side, and you're like, oh my gosh, how many times have I made this every year? And there it is. And you're like, okay, now it happens.
The Bumpus's dogs coming in and eating the goddamn turkey.
Yeah, the Christmas goose, or the duck. They did the duck.
Well,
The
that
Chinese
was
restaurants.
one of the Chinese
You know, the
restaurants.
Chinese
Yeah,
duck.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But I mean, we all are fond of that memory because of the great epic, fail, and all the other Christmas. There isn't a movie about the other Christmas years.
All right, I'll give you one quick story before we roll out of here. But I worked with a guy, and I taught him how to make the I don't remember which one it was, but the one of the tarts with the frangipan,
Mm-hmm.
right? So almond flour, butter, blah blah blah. And for Thanksgiving, he decided, the restaurant was closed, so we had Thursday off, and he decided to make this frangipan tart at home. So he didn't have almond flour, but he had regular flour and almond extract.
Mm.
So he whipped it all together and put it into the pie crust and baked it. And then he calls me up and he's like, "Chef, I don't know what the hell is going on," and everything else. I'm like, "What'd you do, Billy?" And he's like, "I made the thing, but I didn't have almond flour, so I used regular flour and I used almond extract." And I just started laughing. I'm like, "So is it bubbling inside?" He goes, "Yeah." And I'm like, "So you made a really funky almond flavored roux?"
Mm. Mm.
He goes, "But it smells really good." And I go, "It's not going to taste really good." He goes, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm sure about that."
Oh
And then he's
no.
like, he tastes it. He's like, "Oh god, it tastes like shit." It's like, yeah, it's basically just almond flavored roux that you made, and you just put it in a pie crust and baked it. And I was like, he's like, "What can I do to save it?" And I go, "Well, I know what you can do to save the rest of the family.
Throw it out.
Throw it away." It's like you can't substitute, and certain things you just can't substitute. You can't substitute almond flour with regular flour. You just can't. You can't do that. It doesn't work either way. You can substitute some almond flour or regular flour with almond flour, but you can't substitute almond flour with regular flour and expect the same uh, as it's blowing out there.
Wow.
But yeah, so we got a beautiful day here. I don't care what you say. This is absolutely beautiful. We love it. This is what we look forward to. This is why we moved to North Carolina. We wanted a change of weather. We wanted to change the scenery.
Water
We
from the
got it.
sky.
Water from the sky. Imagine that. 25 years I lived out in Arizona. Not very often do we get more than 7 inches a year of rain.
Yeah,
And I
that's
was
good
lucky if
years.
we did. Yeah, that was a good year. Um, but yeah, we're gonna enjoy the rest of our day. And thank you
No,
for
you're welcome.
being a part of a show that you
I
didn't realize you're going to be a part of the
I,
show
I, I
of.
had my clean plate club here.
I'm working on
No.
it. Yeah, like I said, I had 30 plus years of eating cold food for my family meal, so to speak. Basically. if you got 5 minutes to sit down on a seat with a hole in the center, that was called your break, and then you work 12-hour shifts.
Well,
Um,
I appreciate this surprise lunch treat, whatever. I guess I would say. Well, I mean, you never know what you're going to eat on a Saturday. We just wing it as you go, and so
got
this
to
is
make
a
some pasta.
this is great. I also know
Yeah.
what we have left over sitting in the fridge, so I also know what we have potential later.
We got a whole other half of dough in there that we can roll out again and make something else if you wanted to.
Well, this is pretty darn good. We could walk into this again.
This was tasty.
This was
But
good. Well, thank
hey,
you.
cheers. And
Thank you.
7 years together, and almost 7 years.
Yeah.
Almost 7 years.
Yeah.
We're getting close. Only
Getting
a couple
close.
more weeks on the 19th. But hey, this is
Well, I mean, 7 years. That was the 7 years of the date of meeting live and in person, and not just texting or.
yeah.
So on my nap friend. Yeah. So then it wasn't like we freaked out upon meet out, and we keep going.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So, well, thank you for bringing me to North Carolina, and thank you for being a part of this show that you didn't know you're going to be a part of.
Well, I
As he's
appreciate
getting ready to hiccup there.
it.
Yeah, thanks, babe.
You're welcome.
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Well, hey, cheers again. Back
And
to you.
hey, Charlotte, stay safe, stay warm, drink up, enjoy the weekend. This is beautiful. Enjoy it. Have fun. Take care.